This is Two Chicks Talkin Flicks, where we review movies. Love them or hate them, someone's got to do it. So enjoy the show. Hi, I'm Sarah.
And I'm April.
And this is Two Chicks Talkin Flicks.
And anything else that we want to get into the mix.
So, April, well, what's in your mix then?
Murder.
Murder.
So, completely unexpected.
Yeah.
OJ died.
Yes.
Yes.
Speaking of murder.
We had already selected this movie before this.
Yeah.
But of course, you know, we had to talk about OJ. Then we had to look up pictures. Yeah. And then we just, you know, look up facts. So.
You know, it's really funny. So earlier today, I was listening to the Boy Meets World podcast, and they actually mentioned OJ Simpson. And I was like, oh, R.I.P.
Yeah. I will say, personally, today, I honestly feel that he did it.
Yeah.
But back then, you know, we didn't really know what DNA was and how it worked and how you could transfer it. But we knew LAPD was crooked cops. So that really hurt them badly.
There's so much
they worked in his favor
that showed that he is probably the only one who could have done it. Mm-hmm. But there was just enough missing evidence
for a mistrial.
Yeah, you know, so he was found guilty in the court of public opinion.
Yeah, that took a while.
And the court of, you know, whatever that small personal.
Oh, yeah, but that was different.
Yeah.
The civil court.
So, yeah, civil.
Yeah, but definitely like he really lucked out.
Who writes a book said if I did do it?
Because he was broke. He was broke. I've actually never looked into that book because I was like, that's just in bad taste.
Yeah.
So I wonder if it does have, like, is there a movie about the murder?
There's like,
because I know there was the miniseries and obviously all of the documentaries, but is there an actual like 2-hour movie about this?
I don't know.
See, now I'm just going to go home and look my weekend is going to be OJ now, you know, because
it's going to be juiced.
I mean, it happened in the 90s. I was like, what, in 93, right? No.
95.
So I was 14 when it happened. No. Yeah. Well, was that the trial or the murder?
95, I believe, was the trial.
Okay. So I was about maybe 13, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, like all of the information that I know about the OJ Simpson case, I pretty much was on top of it as a child could be.
Yeah.
You know, I remember the nightly news always did like the highlight reel, you know? And then I remember I saw, you know, the documentary, the miniseries, you know, the state of California versus OJ Simpson. Yeah. That was really good. It was like 8 parts or something, something reasonable.
Yeah.
But I've never actually looked at any documentaries because it's just such a well-known story.
Right.
But when we were talking about it, I realized there's so much I don't know.
Yeah, because I looked into it not too long ago for some reason. I don't remember why. And I was just like, oh, I didn't know about that. Oh, I didn't know about that. But I was also a kid. You know, I was like 11, 12. And, you know, what's so funny is that when I moved here to Texas, or not moved here, when I came here to visit my grandparents, they were still working. And so I was by myself at their house during the day, and they didn't have cable. So they only had the local channels. And so I would watch ABC. So I would watch The View, and I would watch All My Children, and probably General Hospital. But in between then, they would always have the news on. And they would It was almost always
every day,
every single day. And they would like have that instead of all my children. And it would make me so mad because I was like, that's the only thing I know is all my children because my mom and my sister watched it.
Yeah.
And so I'd get really pissed because I'm like, who cares about this stupid jury? I don't care.
Yeah. It's interesting because, like, you know, I was in school.
What happened to your knee? Did you fall?
Oh, yeah. I remember I fell down in Mexico. I took a picture.
How long ago was that?
Like last September, August.
It's still bruised?
No, it's a scar.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, my scars take time to heal. See?
Oh, yeah.
Like, it takes time.
All right.
It's going to take years before that fades.
Sorry, guys, you can't see the scar, but it looked like a bruise.
Yeah, no, it's just, it's darker, like dark brown, and it's going to take a while before I guess I have to shed the skin layers.
Yeah, you could put that cream stuff on there, but that stuff weirds me out. I don't know why.
Who's looking at my knees except for Sarah?
Well, it was in my face.
Yeah, no.
I was worried about you. It looked weird.
No, I fell like 6 months ago. No, longer. 7-8 months ago. And, it scabs and it falls off, but my skin still looks fresh. That's why it's like that.
One time I got like a hole in my leg. And when I was a kid, it was in one spot, but I've grown. Mm-hmm. So now it's moved and it's real weird.
Oh, so when I was a kid, I stepped on a rake.
Yeah.
And I literally in the middle of my heel.
Yeah.
Right. I can't remember which foot it is because I can't see the scar anymore. Oh. I think it was this one.
Uh-huh.
But the scar is gone.
I stepped on a rusty nail and I can still see it because it's like a little freckle on the bottom of my foot. It's a rusty freckle.
I need to examine my feet again.
Yeah. Well, thank you for those who stuck around for foot talk.
Yeah, if you want to hear, let's change the subject from one tragedy to the next.
Yes. So we are reviewing Tragedy Girls.
Yes.
It came out in 2017.
And you can find it on Amazon Prime.
It's on free in a lot of different places. But it's
awesome.
Yeah. But
That's
on
where
Amazon
we
Prime.
watched it.
And basically...
Hold on. Let's backtrack. Originally, Sarah was like, it's prom season. Yeah. We should do Carrie. And I was like, no, I want to watch something new. And so I was like, okay, what's something that's like high school? Okay. And so I was like, so I literally looked and I liked the name Tragedy Girls. And I was like, oh, that sounds interesting. And I looked at the trailer. I was like, fuck yeah, I want to see this.
Yeah.
So I sent it over to Sarah. She's like, okay, we could do that.
Yeah.
And spoiler alert, it's like a modern 2.0, 3.0, since they've already redone Carrie, right?
Yeah.
5.0? Because I think Carrie had 2 parts.
Yeah, something like that.
A remake and a second part.
Yeah.
Whatever.
It is kind of Carrie-ish.
It's purgy, too.
It's kind of Carrie-ish mixed with Scream, mixed with Jawbreaker. With
The Purge.
Yeah.
I love this movie. Like, spoiler alert.
Yeah. So a quick
synopsis.
Yeah. It's 2 best friends. They have, I guess, kind of like a podcast, but it's basically just a page, and they talk about the murders, and they have been tracking this one guy who's been doing a few of these murders in a town near them, and they're trying to get people to like their page. And so they
kind of like what we do. Yeah. Maybe we need to murder a few people.
They track down the murderer.
And that would have been a movie in itself.
Right?
They could do a prequel.
Yeah, that would have been like a fun movie. This was dark.
I could see a prequel.
Yeah.
And I can see like a part 2.
Yeah.
Like, I guess continue. I keep interrupting. I'm so sorry. I'm so excited about this movie.
So they track down the killer and they kidnap him. And then they start killing people. And unfortunately for them, the murders keep looking like accidents.
So sad.
And
tragic.
And then the murderer escapes, causes some mayhem, and then they end up killing everybody at the prom. And they get off scot-free.
Yeah, they do.
They're the only
With full
survivors.
Scholarships.
Yeah.
And the losers that did go to prom.
Yeah, well, that's true too. The rest of the school, but it was like 124 kids all burned while they sat there and became heroes. It was funny.
Yeah.
But dark.
Number 1, they totally lucked out that this happened in a somewhat small town.
Yeah.
And that they really did not have a very good police department.
No.
That was too proud to ask for help.
Yeah.
Because that's that's what's supposed to happen in these smaller areas where they don't really have a lot of that. Like, especially in Texas, like one thing you do is you speak with the county. If it's still kind of small, then you reach out to the Texas Rangers and they kind of liaison, the big wigs to kind of assist. They'll send evidence to other big cities to it's just, they don't keep it contained.
Yeah.
But apparently in this town, they didn't ask. They were in denial. They thought they had a hand. Okay. So at the beginning of the movie, you see Sadie.
Yes.
In a car with the guy. And, it's very like they're parked in the middle of a woods on a bridge. And later we find out it was all to lure the killer.
Yes.
Because Bestie is hiding in the woods waiting for the killer to strike. Yeah. And so then there's a noise and Sadie's like,
you should go look at that.
You should go look at that. Aren't you a man? Go look at it. Right? And so he goes out, he gets murdered, and then the bestie, clops the murderer upside the head, and then the two girls drag them over to their secret lair.
Yeah.
And they also bring over, the kid. And they're like, yay, you've killed 4 people. We're so happy we caught you. We should team up and be a group. You could join our crew, blah, blah, blah. And then it turns out that the, boy isn't dead. And they're like, oh, I guess you didn't kill 5 people. You're back down to 4.
Yeah.
And so then.
And they're at least 1.
Yeah. They finish the killing and they start, dismembering the body. And then they go off home like da-da-da. They tie up the dude and they have a surveillance camera watching him.
Apparently the only people in town that have a surveillance camera.
Yeah.
Like nobody else apparently has one. Mm-hmm. Because a lot of this murder would have been solved by just a camera.
Yep. Well, it doesn't say when this took place. So,
yeah, but they're doing social media. So it had to at least been.
We'll be back after a quick break.
Ever wondered what it takes to make it in the movie business? Peel back the curtain with 4-6 Success Filmmaking. 4-6 Success Filmmaking is where filmmakers share their stories and the secrets.
It's beyond competitive out there.
There have been movies that it's taken me 10 years to get made.
Don't wait to create. You've got to just keep making stuff.
Tune in to 4-6 Success Filmmaking for your dose of cinematic realness, direct from the voices that have lived it.
True. And there was rudimentary surveillance. But maybe this town just felt they were so secure. But even after and then on top of that, the first few murders that did happen, it happened in the area, not necessarily in their town. So there were different municipalities or counties, you know, not working together because small towns are notorious about not working together, sharing information.
Yeah.
So the sheriff's downplaying everything. But anywho, I guess, oh my God, they feed the dude dog food.
Yeah. Well, he can't eat it because he can't reach it. So really, they just put dog food in his room.
I thought if he like dropped himself on his chair. See, I was thinking of Charlie's Angels, just break the chair.
Yeah, right.
You know, like, because it looked like it was wooden. Like, first of all, the way to eat is just fall down to the ground and scooch over, and then you could eat. And then I would have tried to break the chair.
Yeah.
Eventually he escapes, but whatever. Anyway, so then they're like, oh no, you know, I don't know the kid's name. Tommy's missing.
It was Craig.
Craig. They're like, Craig probably ran away. And they're like, damn it. No, he's probably murdered. You know, there's that murderer. There's no murderer. You know, he ran away. And they're like, damn it. And then who's next? Oh, the ex-boyfriend, Michaela's ex-boyfriend.
Toby.
Yeah. And so he's, you know, one of those like starry-eyed, poetic people.
Yes. But he's also a bad boy on a motorcycle.
Yeah. And so he's talking on his Instagram or whatever, and he's getting so many likes and stuff because he's writing inspirational stuff about Craig being missing, maybe lost his soul and blah, blah, blah. And they're like, hey, you should give us a shout out. And, you know,
he was like, that's not really my brand.
Exactly.
And they saw red.
Yeah. And so then because she was the ex, she kind of has a feel of his routine.
Yeah.
So they call him, make a prank call, and they kind of make him want to drive out and think and ponder life. And then because they know typically his, you know, old stomping roads, they basically throw spikes and cause an accident, and they record it.
Yeah, they're stupid.
Yeah. They didn't show this, but obviously they had to have pulled the spikes off the road.
Yeah.
Anywho, they go over and he's not dead, and they are so mad. They're like, what the fuck, dude? Why are you not dead? And so then stupid truck shows up because, you know, their car is pulled over, and they're like, oh, broken tire, whatever. I can fix it. Get the fuck out of here. And he's like, whatever, bye.
Yeah.
And so then meanwhile, Michaela, you know, he's like, if anyone had to kill me, I'm so glad it's you. And she's like, oh, I love you. And she starts making out with him, and he kind of dies in her arms.
Yeah.
And then she shows up and she's like, whatever. And so, but because there was a motorcycle accident, they did stab him a few times, but I guess because it was a motorcycle accident and they don't do autopsies, they're like, oh, accident.
Yep.
So they do like public awareness, like, you know, motorcycles are dangerous. And they're like, God damn
They're like,
it.
what does a girl got to do to get some respect around here?
Yeah, and so then
they have to murder again.
Yeah, so then the stupid head cheerleader, she's like, we should cancel prom and donate all the funds to like.
My thing is okay, so Michaela and Sadie, they are president and vice president. They're seniors. This girl is just on the council and she's not a senior. She's a junior. She's the captain of the cheerleaders. Why are people listening to her? Like, she's not the vice president and the president, and she's not a senior. So why do you have a vote on if you get to have prom or not?
Peer pressure?
Like, why is anybody listening to her? She didn't have a gavel. The girls did. I just don't understand why they don't have more pull than she does.
Well, I feel that every council kind of sets their own rules at the beginning. So they're probably majority rules type thing. Anyways, so that makes her public enemy number one.
Yeah.
Because she wants to cancel prom.
Yeah.
And so she has this whole thing like, I'm going to set up the share library where, you know, you put books in the neighborhood and stuff.
Yeah.
And little houses. And so then they see a mock-up. And apparently the coast was clear because they destroyed that sucker. Yeah. And then she comes across it and just breaks down crying like, oh my God, So she stays late at school, right? Like late, like dark. Like the janitor is there late. And one of her henchmen finally is like, I need to go. Bye. And so then she's there alone building her little library house mock up again. And the girls sneak in. And unfortunately, Michaela has some very stylish, unique, one-of-a-kind shoes.
Yeah.
Because, they're dressed in black, got their masks on. And then it's like, Michaela? And then it's like, fuck.
They're like, you didn't change your shoes?
They're like, well, we're going to kill her anyway, so who cares? So they do get into a struggle, a fight. And somehow, because it's a workshop and there are workshop dangerous equipment, she ends up killing herself.
Yeah. They were like, what kind of dangerous, or what is that? Final Destination shit is this?
Yeah.
She gets a cord or chain wrapped around her ankle, which pulls her up into the air right over to the saw, that table saw that happens to be going.
That was activated by a switch on the wall. When they were fighting, they hit the switchboards. And then they're like, great, they're going to think it's another accident.
And she saws the middle of her head open.
Yeah. And they were like, well, we're going to have to do something about that.
Yeah. So then they completely chop her up. I don't know why.
Oh, not only that, I think the icing on the cake was when, her little minion shows up early in the morning with coffee. And finds this gruesome scene.
Yeah.
They stuck her hair on this
it was
spinner.
her head.
Yeah, her head on this spinner. And her head's just spinning. And it's like, wow, that's ingenious.
Well, so before that happened, they're cutting her up and they have her head and they're like, what are with those shoes? And as they're making fun of her, the janitor comes in and they freeze and he doesn't see them because he's just in his own little world.
He's got a routine, man.
Yeah, and then he turns the light off and they're just like, whew.
Yeah, he's listening to his music. Yeah. He's got a routine. There's apparently in this workshop only one trash can and it's by the door.
Of course.
So he picks up that trash bag, puts in a new one, and walks out.
Yeah.
And doesn't see anything. So obviously this is a movie. Yeah. But I'm thinking if this is a workshop, in real life, maybe they were in the very back of the workshop. And if you don't move or make sudden movements, if he's not really looking in that direction, maybe. Either ways. So finally, it's murder on the news. And everybody's like, murder. And now they're finally so after each one of these things, they're like, nope. And they're like, now it is a murder. And they're like, well, we don't want to say it's murder, but it's suspicious.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. And so then now they're kind of getting is that right? I don't know. Anyways, and they're like, you know what? You're onto something. You're right.
Yeah.
And then even the fire marshal is like, nah, bro, something's going on in this town. And we need justice for the head cheerleader chick. And
that pisses them off because now everybody's like, he's getting all the accolades that we're supposed to be getting. He totally jumped in on their whole spiel because they were doing her memorial service at the school. And apparently everybody's in love with Al. Big Al.
Yeah. Even their something teacher, the only class we really show them in. And, they're very vocal. They're very passionate. But it also seems like they're not taking it very seriously.
Yeah, no.
Like it really honestly does seem, which in fact is true. But remember, we're pretending to be, their peers, that they are very excited. And think about it. As a teenager, wouldn't it be exciting? Like, oh my God, there was a murder here, So.
I don't know if I'd be jazzed about it.
Well, not everyone's going to react the same way.
Especially if 3 people had already been murdered. I don't know.
Well, they were murdered. One ran away. One was a motorcycle accident. Now we have a real murder. Okay. Anyways. So then the teacher calls them out on the badness of social media.
Yeah.
And picks on the girls, and they like walk out and they're like, bitch, you're next.
Yeah.
You know, but we're going to get to you by getting to your man, because she's apparently, you know, has a little side thing going on with Mr. Al. Well, they're both single.
Yeah.
But, you know, like, it's still hush-hush. It's not open news. So they decide, you know what? He stole our limelight, and he's her boo. Let's get him.
Yup.
So he's working out at the gym, and they put in some kind of poison, and the whole plan is for him to drink the poison.
Yeah.
I don't know what the plan was, though, because then again, it was going to be an accident.
Yeah.
Or like sickness, heart attack. Like, were they going to kill him and, you know, cut him up afterwards?
Well, they were making him drink the poison so they would be able to actually kill him because
he was so big.
Yeah, he was so big compared to them.
Okay. So, anyways, so that's Michaela's job. And she finally gets him to drink it. But of course, Sadie's getting impatient. She's like, oh my God, what's taking so long? What's taking long?
Well, that's
She's
because
failing.
Jordan was going to come over and see her.
Oh, that's right. Oh, Jordan.
And so she was
is
trying.
The son.
Yeah.
Is the son of the sheriff.
He's also Dennis Quaid's son.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And not Melanie Griffith. Oh my God, I cannot think of her name. Tom Hanks and Sleepless in Seattle.
Megan. Who cares? It's Megan. Everyone knows who Megan is. Sleepless in Seattle.
Megan.
That unhappily, or the Prince movie. Remember, the Prince comes from back in time to the future, and he's like,
Kate and Leopold.
Yeah. I liked that movie.
How do I remember that? But I can't think of her fucking last name.
Megan. Yeah. I just keep wanting to say Megan Fox, so that's completely
that's not
wrong.
Megan Fox. No.
Anywho, it doesn't matter. I don't like him. He's too old.
Oh, Meg. Griffith? No, I don't know.
It's something short.
Yes, it is. We know that it is. But anyways, yes, that's his dad and mom.
Whatever. Don't care. Anywho, so where were we?
So he was coming over, so they had to kill Big Al real quick.
Yeah. So they're in a gym, and they're doing like a terrible job. Like,
and there's no cameras apparently in this gym. I don't get it.
It's little. It's small. This is a small town.
Still.
Anyways. Okay. So yeah, so he, you know, there's a lot of pushing and breaking and throwing and hitting, and Michaela's kind of down, and that's when he finally gets a hold of Sadie and chokes her, and they're on the ground. He's on top of her, and then Sadie stabs him.
Well, and the poison, I think, kicked in at the same time.
He started to lose his grip, and then Michaela clobbed him in the head with a giant weight. And so he's dead.
Yep.
And so now it's kind of like, we're getting a lot of press. But stupid ass Travis, is that his name? Jordan.
Meg Ryan.
There
Sorry.
you go. I knew it was something simple. So Jordan, he likes Sadie.
Yes.
Apparently has liked her for a long time.
Yeah.
And so then he does their video editing. And obviously he does it because he loves Sadie.
Yes.
He's a simp. Will do anything for her. But because he's starting to spend a little bit more time with them, and this situation just seems abnormal with the whole murder situation and the girls. Michaela's definitely more vocal and excited versus Sadie is more rational.
Yeah.
You know? So he starts getting suspicious of her.
Mm-hmm.
And he breaks into the school and he looks at the records and sees that she was given a psych evaluation at some point in her life. He also starts kind of, I don't know if he's pretending to help his dad, but he makes copies of pictures and stuff. And he provides it to Sadie, because he's so in love. Here's evidence for your podcast.
Well, he also stole her phone, Michaela's phone.
Yeah.
Her extra phone.
Yeah, when suspicion gets really big, he steals her phone. He can't get into it, but he's working on it. But this happens after Al has been killed, and there's an emergency town hall meeting, and they're like, justice for Al.
Yeah.
And so they decide to march, I guess, to the station.
Yeah.
That's miles away, apparently, from the town hall or something.
Meanwhile, their capturer escapes.
Yeah, they're pets.
Yeah. And then he goes and kills the mayor.
And hangs her from a light post.
And they all march in their little group to where the mayor is, which is funny because the mayor was with them when they left on their excursion.
She was not going to walk that. She took the
I know,
car.
right?
And she's like, I need to go open the doors, get refreshments
I'll go to the
going.
end of the thing and meet you there.
Yep. Anywho, I'm thinking, great. They have an alibi, we were with the crowd. There's no way we killed them, and maybe that kind of helped Michaela.
Yeah.
But Jordan is still sus. So then the killer's out there and they're starting to freak out. They think they see him everywhere because obviously he knows who they are.
Yeah.
So now they're going to the police. They're like, I need a police escort. I need somebody watching my house. This is what the killer might look like. And then the sheriff's over here trying to draw a composite. And they're like, you should really hire someone. Yeah. But he's like, sorry, we're stretched thin. We can't help you. You're just going to have to be basically why would he kill you?
Yeah.
And they're like, we have a podcast with 1,000 followers or something. I don't even know.
Same.
Anyways, so they're like, my phone's missing. It has to be Jordan. We need to go fucking kill him. And she's like, fine, I'll do it. I owe him that much. So, it's late at night and he sneaks her in because, he's in love and he thinks they're maybe going to make out, get it on, and she has her knife and she's, waiting for the perfect moment to kill him. Meanwhile, Michaela's listening on mute and she's like, dude, fucking kill him already. When she sees somebody coming up the stairs and she's like, she's like, oh no, that's not him. And then somebody knocks on the door, Jordan's door, and he's thinking, oh crap, it's dad. So she hides behind the bed, opens the door, killer dude. Yep. Cuts him up. And then Sadie pops up and she's like, oh shit. So now she's fighting him. They're making noise and commotion. And apparently the dad didn't hear shit. Asleep with the TV on. So then Michaela's running. She's like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. She grabs a gnome and throws it in the living room area, I guess. Wakes him up. He runs upstairs and he basically saves Sadie because he doesn't know what's going on. But he sees her running and the killer's chasing her. And now they are no longer suspects. Yeah. And Jordan survived, because the murderer is a terrible murderer.
Yeah.
Oh, God, he really does suck.
And then
imagine how many people got away that they don't know is connected to him.
Right. And then Michaela goes after the murderer.
Finds where his new hideout is.
Yeah. And
but we don't know that yet.
No.
We just see him watching him.
But we see her run after him, and that's all we see.
Mm-hmm.
And before he escaped, he kind of planted seeds in her head that maybe Sadie thinks she's better at this than her, and that she's going to take all the limelight. So when Jordan survives, and her dad saw that she saved his life, he puts her on a pedestal and is like, telling everybody in town, like, she's great, she's awesome, she saved my son.
And then when the news reporter asks, so what's next for the tragedy girl
instead of girls.
And she did not correct her.
She didn't. She was about to, and then she was like, no.
She's like, I just want to protect the community, bring awareness, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Right? And Michaela is like,
pissed.
You fucking bitch. Right? Yeah. She is not going to stand for this.
Well, and then so we have Sadie and Jordan. They start dating. She becomes the captain of the cheerleading team. She's now doing really well in school and getting ready for the prom. And meanwhile, Michaela is plotting. She's thoughting and plotting.
And so Jordan picks up Sadie. They're going to prom. Sadie, she goes to prom. She hops into her limo, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
And then I'm still thinking she's in danger. It's like, because at all points, I'm plotting and planning what's going to happen next. And I'm like, oh my God, it's the killer. He's going to kill you. And it is him. And he's wearing a corsage.
Yeah.
And she's totally knows that he's there.
Yes.
So they arrive at prom. But she does not make her great entrance yet.
No.
Jordan and Sadie are crowned prom king and queen. Whoop-de-doo. And, the killer and Sadie are hanging out outside, kind of just waiting for the perfect moment. There's these two teenagers that are making out. I don't know if they're watching this or if they just happened to make it to that area after the kids got caught by that mean teacher. So the kids get caught and are sent away, and then they confront the teacher and they kill her. And now it's time for her grand entrance.
Well, and somehow she slit the lady's throat and got no stitch of blood on her. Not even a tiny bit. That's shocking.
Yeah, it was stain resistant, Sarah.
Oh, of course.
Duh.
Obviously.
Oh my God.
I forgot.
Okay.
That stain resistant chiffon. I forgot.
Yeah. It's that fancy
Tool.
shit. It's that fancy shit we can't afford. So now she goes back into prom.
Yeah.
And she sees where Sadie's sitting, and she turns around and gives her back. And she's just standing there waiting for her to be noticed. And I personally think she has a mirror and she's kind of like watching, because she doesn't leave until, Sadie notices her, gets up and is about to approach her. When she gets approached by, the henchman chick, and she's like, oh my God, you're so brave. I love you. And she's just like, fuck off.
Yeah,
like,
get
bro. And so then, because of this distraction, Michaela gets away. And so she starts following her. And we all know, like, oh shit, she's going to murder you. Don't follow her. But she follows her.
Yep. Then Jordan, of course, being the golden retriever that he is, he follows as well.
He is so annoying. Okay, so he follows her.
You are so Michaela.
I am. At the beginning of the movie, we haven't decided who we were. And I can't remember. There was this guy. Oh, it was him or something. He liked her. And I was like, oh my God, I'm her. I'm Michaela. And then you're like, you don't want to be the blonde. I was like, have a love interest? No, thank you. Anyways, so while Jordan is listening, it turns out that Michaela is actually the creation of Sadie. Yeah. Sadie is the fucked up one that infected Michaela. Basically, they were both in the car with Jordan's mother, and they were going, I don't know, dance recital or something. Yeah. And Sadie took a string, rope, shoelace, something, because she was sitting behind her, and fucking choked her.
Yeah.
And they crashed.
New fear unlocked.
Yeah, and they crashed, and it was an accidental death.
Yeah.
Right? And it's like, you're thinking Jordan should be like, what the fuck? I'm getting the fuck out of here. I'm telling authorities.
Because it was very clear that Sadie was the one who did it.
Yep.
And so then when the murderer shows up,
Like, surprise, guess he's here.
he runs
To save her.
and then like him and Sadie run off upstairs
Because they're in the theater room.
Yeah, and I was like, why are you protecting her? You just heard that she killed your mom.
But he's deep in the sauce. Okay, he's deep in it. It's love for him, man. Love is blind, and they run up. I don't know. They run up. To theater. They have like stuff.
Like, I'm not even happy with the doctors who tried to save my mom. Like, she still died on your care. I'm not a fan of you, sir. So you can imagine if I found out someone actually killed my mom, I wouldn't be trying to save them at all.
Yeah. So anyways, they get to the top and Michaela's doing her little spiel and murderer dude's like, I'm going to kill you. And he's like, you better not fucking kill her. She's off limits and you know this. And then, what is it? Who dies first? Jordan? No. Jordan dies second.
Yeah.
So basically, Michaela and murderer dude start getting in an altercation. And then she's like, she's my best friend, blah, 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 and takes a gun out of her tiny little purse, which I absolutely love, and shoots him. Yeah. And he falls down, plap. And then Jordan's like, Sadie, we have to whatever. And, and then she's like, you don't really know me.
No.
Like, I live off of this. Like, this gets me off. And then for some reason, there's a noose. Yeah. And she grabs the noose, ties it around his neck, and like pushes him. And he's hanging. And I'm just like, oh, best friends forever. And then Sadie shoots him, just to take him out of his misery.
They didn't shoot him.
Oh, they didn't?
No.
Oh.
No, because they had other plans for the school.
Oh, yeah. They didn't have time for all that. Yeah. So then they put on their little purge masks and they hold hands and they dance off to the gym and they chained all of the doors. Yeah. And then they set their very flammable decorations like alight. And somehow they got everybody's phone number in town. They never explained how. Yeah. But they sent everybody... What was it?
A text message showing the doors were locked.
Oh, yeah, the doors were locked. And then that's when they noticed the fire and the screams. And, they're the two kind of main survivors that everyone's talking about. Yeah. And all the suffering and pain that they went through. They found, murder dude. And they're like, yep, it was him all along. He did all of it. Yes, he did. And then they get scholarships and they go off to their next great adventure, college. Yeah. And that's why I feel like a prequel. Like, obviously, I think it should start off where there's a murder. Like, they're obsessed with murder, obviously. Murder shows and all that. And then they find out there's a murder. And then they start doing investigations. And they should show their scheme and be like, we should work on catching him. And then they have the perfect scheme because I think she had to give like 30 hand jobs to different guys just to get like the perfect, to be at the right place at the right time. So that would have been nice to see that, you know? Like, and it makes you wonder which, like, obviously we know their first murder, but was there another before?
I don't know. Where's her mom?
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's up with that? So I'm an OG 2020 and Dateline watcher.
Love it.
I watched it when I was in high school and people made fun of me.
I watched it younger than that. Yeah, that was part of my Friday night routine.
Yes, mine too. I loved it. On Friday and Saturday nights, I'd watch it with my mom. Yep. I loved it. And so watching like that's never besides watching those two shows, and, you know, I'd watch like Rescue 911 and Unsolved Mysteries, things like that. But now I've listened
to podcasts.
Well, I've listened to other stuff about murder and stuff. But there's one that has always just like been real weird. And it was the three friends, and one of the girls they just fucking didn't like anymore. For whatever reason, they just didn't like her.
I know.
And
which one
instead
you're
of just
about.
like not being friends with her, they're like, well, the only obvious thing that we need to do is to kill her, because clearly that's all we can do.
That's the one with the text message, right?
I don't know.
Oh, continue.
So they like have her escape her house, and they go and they take her to the middle of the woods, and they just all of a sudden they're like, okay, go. And they just stab her.
Oh yeah. We went on go. That was the text message. Yeah.
And
we went on go.
It was just like, you could have just stopped hanging out with her. And, you know, one of them felt really bad about it, and she's the one that kind of gave it up.
She didn't witness a murder as a child.
But the other one seemed like a psychopath. So it's like, is it the one influences the other, or how do two crazy people get together? Like, would the other one have ever done that if she was hanging out with somebody else? Just like in this movie, like, would Michaela have ever been one to want to kill somebody if she wasn't with, you know?
Yeah, definitely. Oh, what if? Okay, because what if Michaela was the little outcast little girl, and then Sadie moves into town and becomes her only friend, her best friend, and then she murders someone. Oh, so mom died, maybe murdered. Who knows? Maybe Sadie witnessed it.
Yeah.
Maybe Sadie didn't. So that's why they leave and move to another town. And so then they become best friends, and now that's her only friend.
Yeah.
And she's just like, I can't betray my one friend, you know? So then that's why she gets kind of fucked up in the head.
Yeah.
And then, you know, they grow up screwing each other up even more. And eventually they become popular and stuff.
Because Michaela seems like she has a pretty good life. Like, her parents love each other, and they like dote on her.
But that wouldn't mean that she wouldn't have had a different experience at school.
No. I'm just saying, like, her home life seems really good. You know, she gets along with her parents. They were eating waffles together.
Yes.
And then...
But imagine witnessing a murder and then being in a car accident.
Yeah.
And let's face it, now we know all about mental health.
Yeah.
You would send the child to, you know, to talk to somebody. Back then, they probably wouldn't have.
Yeah.
You know, they're like, it's just a car accident, you know, maybe they're too young. They don't really understand what's happening. You know, like, first of all, they don't have the full story.
Yeah.
So even if they tried to address it, they wouldn't have addressed the real reason.
Yeah.
So I could see them not getting the help they needed at the time they needed it most. And Michaela became corrupt, and corruption absolutely corrupts.
Yeah.
So
It's just crazy.
Oh, knowledge leads to power. Power leads to corruption. Corruption corrupts absolutely. That's what it is, I believe, or something to that effect.
Was this like the killer's mantra? What?
No, it's a famous quote.
Oh.
I think it's from The Prince. I can't remember.
I have no idea.
Just kill them all. Let God sort them out.
So what was your favorite part of the movie?
The end where they put their masks on and they hold hands and then they go off, you know, tra-la-laing, twirling off into like the hallways towards the gym, because they healed their friendship. They're back at their core where they started from, and nothing's ever going to tear them apart again.
So if you had to pick one friend that would be your murder buddy, who Who would that be?
Oh, God, none of my friends.
You have to pick a friend. Of your core friends, who would it be? I have who I think you would pick.
Honestly, probably be my brother. Because all of my friends have too much to lose.
Huh. I thought you would pick Yolanda.
No. She has her family she needs to take care of. Sandra has her family. Christine has a family. Like, they're not going to risk murdering someone with me.
Well, I was talking about like in high school.
Oh, in high school?
Like if you were these two girls, who would be your murder buddy?
Honestly, I was closer to Sandra at the time.
I just don't see Sandra doing that.
No, I don't either.
I just think you and Yolanda are buddies.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel
I think we became closer after high school. So, because I knew Sandra first, and then I knew Yolanda, and we were friends, yeah, sure. But I don't know. Gosh, we were definitely really, really, really close, good friends. Best friends? Yeah, I think we were. It's hard to describe.
I would love to say that I would have me and my best friend would be murder buddies, but I know it's not true. Now, I would say that she might be the type.
You couldn't keep your mouth shut.
Well, okay, so this is the problem. So I think she might be a kind of person who could commit murder. Mm-hmm. And then she would probably call me to help her clean up the murder. But I would be like, we have to go and tell somebody.
Oh my God, goody two shoes. That's why I knew I couldn't pick you.
I know. I'm okay with it because
well, don't worry. You won't. You'll be you could just say I had no idea because I would not be telling you at all.
Yeah, no.
I could take it to the grave.
Yeah, you can.
Oh,
That's why you could be a murder person.
Yeah, I could keep it to myself.
If I ever end up dead, you guys know why. Just contact April.
I have an alibi.
But yeah, no, I wouldn't tell, but I would want them to go like turn themselves in. I would highly be like, maybe we should turn you in.
You wouldn't. I feel that you would be scared that they're going to turn on you since you didn't help them. And you would be freaking out and you would crack because then you would be scared for your life.
Huh. I think I'd just like run away and disappear.
Yeah, no. I can't see that. Because at that time, you were a military kid. So then...
Not when I was in high school, I wasn't. My dad was already out. Hey, I did get in trouble with the military, so I'm a rebel.
But...
Scared the crap out of me. It was not serious. I mean, it was serious, but I didn't get in trouble or anything.
Did you ever finish watching Breaking Bad?
No.
Okay, I won't say.
No, we're like 4 episodes away from finishing, and my sister won't finish.
So I would love to see a part 2 of this movie because obviously they're not going to stop.
No.
And I feel like if they do get caught, college years is still too soon to get caught.
Yeah.
You know, and then I can see their 20s, single, ready to mingle murder sprees. Like, if they could be the greatest mass murderers of all time.
I can see meeting a man, falling in love, and having kids be what breaks their friendship and what starts one of them going on a real murder spree.
What if she snaps because somebody murders their loved one?
Or what if one of them becomes like an FBI agent and she's on the case to find out who the other murderer is, which she knows because she knows.
Because sometimes you need to offer the hacker a job because he's the only one that could see the mind of a killer. Oh, I could see so many possibilities for this movie.
Right?
Like they grow up, they mature. Like the Golden State Killer was a cop or a security guard, I can't remember. But like he was a murderer.
Yeah, he went to their like little group meetings and stuff for years.
Yes.
That's how he got caught.
One of them goes into law enforcement of some kind.
Yeah.
And the other one is the whole, Kill Bill family. Like, like I'm just a suburban mom.
I just make cookies every day.
Be like, honey, I'm going to go hang out with my bestie for girls' night, like Margarita Tuesday with tacos or something.
Very Dextery.
Yes. And then they go and, commit their typical Friday night murder.
Yeah. Like best friends do.
Yeah. So I can see that maybe movie 3 or 4. Well, maybe not that far ahead. Could they milk this like Fast and the Furious?
Well, since it was done in 2017, there hasn't been any others since
because
then.
Our review has not been out there to tell you about all the possibilities you have. Yeah. But like in their later years, they have a routine, a murder routine. Be like, honey, we're going to go on a girls' weekend to the cabin or to Vegas for a bachelorette party. And, they commit a few murders all across the country.
Ta-da.
Yes.
Well, we know that their fatal flaw, the thing that's going to get them caught is like when they record it and shit. Because you can't leave any evidence.
Yeah, they were not they looked out. They looked out this happened in a small town because they were not wearing gloves.
No.
Like, sure, they wore gloves when they were like dismembering the body, but not when they were taking the weights and hitting Big Al over the head. They weren't wearing gloves. So... Well, maybe they're going to college in a small town or a college town.
I don't know. Mm-hmm. Well, is there anything else about this movie?
I want more. more. I'm going to look this up. I'm going to start petitioning the writer, the director, the producers. Be like, bitch, like, you need more of this. Like, this could be your, To All the Boys That I Love sequel movies. They've got 3 of them now?
Yeah, something like that.
I mean, come on, give the people what they want. This is what we want. What about you, Sarah? You didn't rate the movie. Did we rate the movie?
No.
We haven't rated the movie. Sarah, rate the movie.
Okay. I'm not as jazzed about it as you are. I would give it a 6 out of 10. 30 hand jobs.
Not enough. I give
30 is a lot.
I give this movie a 10 out of 10.
Whoa.
Okay. Little Frog Elvises. Apparently it was Jordan's prized possession or something. Yeah. But yeah, I loved this movie. This may be my movie of the year.
Oh, wow.
Oh my gosh. We should do an end of the year movie, award ceremony, our own Oscars.
There we go.
Best actor, actress, best kiss out of the movies that we've seen of that year.
Ooh.
Yes,
good idea.
I like that.
See, I didn't even think you were enjoying the movie at first because you were talking and
because there was so much to say
and just kind of la 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 la, and I was like, I don't even think she's enjoying this at all.
Dude, I love this movie.
Clearly,
I love this movie so much.
You couldn't even contain it.
I am prepared to buy this.
Wow.
So I can keep it in my permanent collection forever.
I'm a little worried.
This is a damn good movie, Sarah. Okay. Okay, this should have been the movie of the year for 2017. I loved it.
I don't know what to say to that.
You guys need to watch this. It's so good.
Well, watch the movie. Tell us how you feel. And
tell us what you would rate it.
Yeah. You can find us on all of our platforms at Two Chicks Talkin Flicks.
Click below somewhere or above or on the side.
And until next time,
toodles.
Bye. This episode was produced by Two Chicks Talkin Flicks. Music was produced by Michael Giovanni. If you like this episode, please like and subscribe. If you'd like to be a part of the show, have a movie suggestion, or just want to give us some love, you can email us at twochickstalkinflicks@gmail.com. Thanks, guys. Toodles.